Uh,
Yeah.
Here, I'll tag you while we're waiting. Let's see here. Mm.
But there is a weird. I don't like the reflection in my glasses. If
Oh,
you see them,
well, I,
you have the same.
I go through the same thing. It depends on the time of day. What's the lighting? You know,
Yeah.
I just stop worrying about it. I never worry. I never about worry too much about what it looks like because then it just distracts me. All right, so here
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna tag you on the live. Yeah, they're coming in now. We got 7 people in the house. Okay, and okay, there we go. Boom. Yeah, good deal. So, Anne, what the hell's going
Yeah.
on? What's going
I
on out
don't
there?
know
Huh?
what is not going on. Like,
Well, we always talk about okay. Well, like we've been talking like a lot about since the summer, what happened during the summer, what happened in August. I'm sorry, September, October, November, and now we're in December, and everything's changed. But I'm just talking about the last 24 hours. Like the last 24 hours, um, like I slept almost 9 hours last night. I haven't slept that long in ages, and I woke up feeling like a zombie. Like my body felt rested, but my mind was going, "What the hell's going on here?" And I talked to a couple of other people, and they're kind of saying the same thing. And then when I got up this morning, as I was trying to like even focus my eyes, I saw 3 or 4 posts talking about this massive amount of solar energy. I don't know, CMEs or flares or storms or whatever that was coming. That's hitting like in the next couple of hours. And
yeah, I
they
feel,
were saying it was the biggest. Like go ahead.
yeah, I feel very fiery. I don't recognize myself.
Fiery.
This week I have been so sleepy, and then yesterday it was as if I woke out of my sleep, and like I have a lie detector, like no more manipulation, no more lies, and it's just like I have been very, very angry, like overreacting because I have never ever said anything, so I have been over in that polarity, and then I haven't got into the center yet, so I have been like I felt like a warrior, like
Yeah.
just like as if every chakra got lit up from root, second, and third. And then from the third out, it was as if it was related with the sun. And it was just for me as if these new frequencies were like taking everything out that was hidden in there, like
Right.
it was highlighted. And to me, it was very much about power struggles and things like that. So I really felt very warrior like these last 24 hours.
Wow. And okay, so I was talking to a friend the other day, and they had um, I guess bouts, 2 or 3 bouts of projection. But what we were talking about was that, like in their case, and in other people's cases that I've noticed, and probably even my own over the last few weeks, where people are finding their power and their personal power and kind of like coming to the point where you are, like no more manipulation. I'm done. I'm not. I won't participate anymore. But to your point, they're they come out too strong, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? Because it won't remain
No,
that
it
way.
has to come out
That's what
for
I'm
their
saying,
brain to
and that's
be.
what I'm saying. I think it's a really good topic or a good point to bring up, at least to remember more than ever. Don't take anything personal because we have been seeing a lot of that. We have been seeing a lot of that uh, people stepping out of their disempowerment and speaking their mind, and it's not always balanced. But it won't stay unbalanced. It's just something I think is important for us to be aware of in ourselves and other people. It'll help us.
Yeah. But I have also been very awake during night. I mean, I went to sleep and then all of a sudden I felt like I came back from the stars and into this consciousness field.
Mm.
But I felt not in my room yet, but like awake, like wide awake. And
So
then I
you,
had all these messages and things going on. And then when I have to get up in the morning, I'm just exhausted because I don't even look at the clock anymore. I put it away because otherwise I got frustrated. So I don't even know what time or how long, but I just know that I wake up and it's nearly as if there is like overlayers of overlayers of overlayers of energy that are meeting. I feel like things are coming up from Earth and things are coming in from the space,
mm,
and we get squeezed in the middle. Like, are you gonna release everything so you can be a real channel between the high and the low, kind of thing?
yeah. No, I get that. And do both apply at the same time in a non-linear way? What I mean is, are we going to release those things we're attached to on the earth to be a clearer channel, but are we going to release the attachments we have to the ethers so we can be more in our body? It's like both apply. It's just
Yeah.
weird. It's really weird. God, you just said something else there too. Oh, yeah. So you're like the third person I talked to in the last few days who described being conscious. I guess in essence, being out of their body but conscious while
Yeah.
their body's sleeping. Or one of them was while they were walking down the street and their consciousness went somewhere else. And it was very
Oh.
vivid, right? And I know I've been having some of that go on at night, but I can't recall anything. I can feel it, and then I think 2 of the last 3 days just waking up absolutely like a zombie, almost like my brain's been wiped or something.
Oh. Yeah.
You
But
got
it's very, very strong what is going on. I teach French for kids in a special school for kids that don't fit in a real school
oh wow,
online. And this week I have felt so wiped out. And sometimes when Danish is my mother tongue, and it's very simple French that I teach them, but sometimes when I looked at the words in these little sticky notes, I was like, what, why is that called that? And I was staring at the word. I mean, I have known these words since I was born. I was just looking at it. It felt so empty and like a constructed thing that had nothing to do with the energy of the word itself. It was just thought I had gone nuts. And it has happened twice. I was just looking at the words thinking, what's that about? Well, why is that so? Like,
mm-hmm,
it's just as if everything is being shown
yeah,
and there is another grid
yeah,
that has become the new base.
yeah, yeah. That's true. And like some words will go with us, some won't, and some words that go with us won't have the same meaning, which I think is what you're kind of talking about. Like the revealing is in everything. It's in our language. Why do we do things? A lot of people have been talking about what you're talking about and saying no to being manipulated, uh, speaking their truth and stepping into their power. Yeah, it sure feels like this. Right now. Okay, so I heard too. From more than one person. There's a corridor between December 12th and December 21st,
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
and that's.
But I do.
But if you think about it, this all started on December 21st, 2012. right? And then last year, I guess that would it be last year? Would it be 10 years? I guess it would be this year, December 21st, 2022. I don't know. But anyway, this corridor feels pretty hot to me. And fortunately or not, because I've been guided on the 13th to hit the road. I don't even know how I'm going to do it. But so it's kind of either fortunate or unfortunate that I'm going to be on the road during this corridor, because I'm being told through others that it's going to be the most powerful corridor we've ever been through. Which
I felt that one between the 11th and the 22nd of November was really intense.
that was intense. That was probably, that was to me like the end of everything that started in the summer. Like that
Yeah.
was like brought it to an end. We kind of integrated, then we get spit into December. And I thought, oh, well, finally we're going to get a break. And then I'm hearing, no, you're going to have the most intense corridor you've ever had between the 12th and the 21st. That's great. So beware. But we can handle it.
Yeah.
We've handled everything else.
Yeah. What really confuses me is that before I could relate 2012, 2013, it was just like a corridor, a long corridor. But now it feels as if so many things are coming in from space that are modifying the whole hologram, and even how to navigate, and what is time, and everything is being thrown out. Like it's just I can really feel it in my body, like there is no old way of doing things anymore.
No.
and and I can't even go back. And sometimes even the way I look at people, I can look at people like either they have changed or they feel as if they are no longer in my world. Even when I look at them and I see them, they seem strangers.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really weird. It has been. I feel I'm walking around in a theater when I'm out in town, or I don't go to
Right.
big towns. I'm in a theater scene, and it's just I don't
Yes.
feel connected to it all anymore. I'm just like walking around in a like kind of scenery, like okay. I don't know. And I feel better and better with myself. There's so much heart love and heart space
Mm-hmm.
and yumminess and funny things. And then at the same time, the human part is going, what is going on?
Yeah. Well, the identities. The
Yeah,
identities. And we think, oh, well, I'm going to lose the identity as a father. I'm going to lose the identity as this or that or this or that. But it's much deeper than that. It's
yeah,
much deeper than that. And see, all along, this is going to what you're saying about like feeling like you're in a play, or like in a scene of the Twilight Zone where you're walking around and everybody's like on a different, or like the Truman Show, right? But I've always got it that it's about the consciousness. So
yeah,
whatever's been developed in this realm, whoever did it, we all did it, no one, whatever, it's basically disempowering us through the holographic experience by disempowering our consciousness, or getting us to consent to what's being presented to us as reality, right? So like what you're talking about, or what I experienced in the restaurant the last 2 mornings, I felt literally like, first of all, I felt like a zombie. But second of all, everything just didn't seem right. It just seems fake. Even the fork, even the water and the ice in the water. You know what? It's just weird. So I'm wondering, if that's what's dying, is it our consciousness that has become disempowered to what the Matrix has presented as a hologram, or you could say, as we continue to shed, are we going to start seeing something else? I guess is what I'm saying. Like, if we're seeing all this stuff that doesn't fit and we feel like we're from another planet, basically, what are we going to start seeing? Because certainly we wouldn't continue to see this. That wouldn't make any sense. It would make sense that our environment would become like ourselves, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
As within, without. Yeah. So why is it that you have that experience, I have that experience, and so many other people talk about it? Is it because we're all not together on the physical earth, that we're put in different places to kind of bring that in, like as a pillar of light or a pillar of higher consciousness? I don't know.
I don't know either. I have just noticed in nature since May, sometimes I come into these vortices. Like I can walk and then all of a sudden I feel, whoa, what is this? Like as if I came into another country or something. And then I can start doing light language or just stand there like a pillar and I can feel it anchor in. And I see all nature spirits working, and lately I have been having a lot of corridors. I live in the Alps. At the mountain cliffs, I have experienced several corridors, and such a strong calling to go there. And I have to climb up high. And then last time I went up, and that that freaked me out, Todd. I was getting up, and my daughter, she didn't want to come with the last 10 meters. And I just could feel, I saw this face in the stone, and then I could feel presences, and I just stayed there and I didn't know what to say. And then I went on to sit a little above, and then I went down and I said to my daughter, I have to go back. She didn't want to come. So I went back and I said, who is here? And the voice said to me, we have a roadmap for you. And I was like, okay. And then I wasn't looking at it, but I got Sweden and Norway. And then I went down. I could feel the importance of it, but I didn't know if it was true, not true, manipulation, because in my past, I have had so many weird incidences with the invisible. So I'm like, ooh. And I went down again. And then I wonder sometimes, what is it about? What was that about? And then I get confused, but I talked with Rick and Femke the other night, and Rick, he just said, just don't make anything of it. Just receive it and see what happens. But I think my human mind has a hard time getting it. I want to understand it, as there's nothing to understand. There's just to receive and move on. Like the story, I could attach to it, like, oh, who was that, and da da da. Oh, that means that I should go to Sweden and Norway, or blah blah blah, all that I could invent around it. And I did, till Rick told me, no, just what did you receive? And the rest was my interpretation
Right.
of it. So for me, it's also new to have all these encounters that make me sometimes really nervous,
Yeah.
because I can feel the presence of these beings, and I feel like beings that have been stuck in the crust of earth are coming up. They are coming out, and they're like, I don't know if they're waiting for people to act. I had a friend, she posted a video from a waterfall in Ireland on Facebook, and I said, could you please call me? And I had to be with that place, and I could feel how it was a portal from inner earth to let things out. And I can really feel these corridors. It's like highways, not on the earth, but in this direction. And I think that's a part of all the new grid.
Yeah. So I was just talking.
Really,
What's that?
Can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me.
No.
You can't hear me, really? Is it on your end? Can anybody hear me?
No.
Test, test, test. No. I don't know what's happening. It must be on your end.
I don't know if it's just me.
Here, let me ask the people. Can y'all hear me? That would be really weird. Oh, we can hear. But you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Oh, she's frozen. Oh, no, she's not. Go out and come back in. It must be your signal.
Did I just talk?
What? What is
I
happening?
can't hear you.
I don't know what's
You hear
happening.
me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me.
So
Okay.
maybe maybe go out and come back in. Here, let me send you a message. What is this thing?
I don't know what's going on.
It's pretty weird. I'll say that. Yeah, but I wanted to talk about this whole inner Earth thing that she's talking about. Here,
I'll just wait for Todd to come back.
I'm here. I'm here. What are you talking about? Yeah, boom. See, I just had to. Yes, I can hear you. So, yeah, we were just talking about this in the last show. She'll come back. So she's talking about feeling. Wow, that sounds really weird. Let's see what happens here. Are you back?
No.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Wait a second.
Weird.
Something strange is happening. I don't know what's going on. We start talking about inner Earth. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it, whether she can hear me or not. So everybody.
Can people on Facebook hear you?
Yes, yes, and they can hear you too. You just can't hear me, which is weird. Which is really
Elena, kan
weird.
du gå over til Facebook for at se, hvad du kan høre? I just tell my daughter to go on Facebook to see what she can hear.
Yeah, you can hear everything. We can hear you and me. Okay, so
You can hear me, but I can't hear you.
right.
But can the people
no.
out on Facebook hear you?
Yes. Yeah.
That's weird.
Here, look, I'm gonna tell you. Here, hang on. Let me just tell you, and then we'll get back on the subject of. It's your device. Restart your device.
I'll just go out and go back in.
Yes. Well, restart your device. I don't think going out and come back in will work. Okay. So, inner Earth. A lot is happening with our connection to the inner Earth. Somebody says I'm on freeze, but I don't think I am. My signal looks good. Yeah. So, so Hung and I went on another excursion yesterday, and we went to a place called Montezuma's Well. And it's like a travertine dome 10,000 years ago that was sitting on top of like a water, I guess, what do you call it, like a spring or something like that. Anyway, it collapsed. And when it collapsed, it made this perfect well, natural well, really big. And so we went down there. So as we climbed down into the well, she put up a crazy video and picture today of it. And unfortunately, I actually moved a little bit better than that, but I was very sore from the 6-mile walk we took the day before, so don't worry about my health as you see me trying to navigate this cavern in this cave. But what was interesting, we both felt something, and we both said it was very good. In fact, it was very beautiful. And for me, when I was tapping into it, I felt like it was family. So I jumped over this fence so she could take that picture in that video. But I was looking, it's one thing to look at the cave dwelling opening, which are really, really small, by the way, which is interesting. But it's another thing to look inside and see the depth of the rooms, right? And when I looked in there, it really did strike some memories in me, which were I would have to consider dimensional experiences. But it just felt like a call or something. I don't know. I don't know. We didn't talk too much about it. We just both said, "Hey, it feels beautiful. It feels good. There's nothing bad here, nothing like that, you know." But I really feel like this, like what Anne was talking about with the information or the code or the entities or the energies coming up from the inner earth, so to speak, to, I guess, fortify or become part of the grid too. That rings true because from what I understand, what I've experienced and what I've heard other people talk about the inner earth family is they are operating at what we would call 5D or higher, right? So that would make sense that if we're developing a 5D or higher new earth grid, that those souls or those entities or energies that were of that frequency would become part of it. Because as they say, they've always been here anyway, right? We just haven't been able to see them. Okay, let's see if we can get her back in. Boom. Here we go. How's that?
Oh, is it better now?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine for us. You're the one having the problem.
Okay, I connected with my daughter's computer.
Yeah, it was your device. That's what it was. Somehow,
it was weird.
yeah, it was weird. Yeah, I was just talking about the inner earth thing, what you were saying about how these energies are coming up from the inner earth to be part of the new grid, and it resonated with me because if the new grid that we're creating is a 5D plus grid, then those frequencies around us that we haven't been able to see, so to speak, or interact with, that are 5D or higher, would be part of that grid. It would just make sense to me. But anyway,
Yeah.
you're back.
Yeah, I'll try to. I got stressed out.
It's okay. Breathe. We're good.
Yeah, breathe.
Now you're in Switzerland. Where are you at? Where are you at?
I'm in France next to Switzerland,
You're in France.
near
Are you?
Geneva.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we had all those people came on yesterday. They were France and Switzerland. I think there was Quebec, all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
so what's your take on what you've been experiencing to include this stuff with like the inner earth and your friend in Ireland? What's your take on it? What do you think it's all about?
I prefer not to think
Yeah.
because I could think a lot of things, but when I tune in, I can just feel as if some people are choosing to exit and some people are choosing to stay, but I don't know where they choose to go, and I don't know those who choose to stay will stay. I had my parents were supposed to come, and this is so weird, to visit. And then when I had them and they wanted to buy the tickets and I tuned in, I was just like, no, it won't work for my mom. And I didn't know why. My human self wanted them to come. And I was just like, no, that would not be a good idea. And I was so surprised that I really felt like I should respect it, even if she didn't say anything about anything. I could just feel that it would not be okay on some higher levels.
Mm.
And I feel like the human constructs, even Christmas, I have never been a Christmas person, but there is no Christmas.
Right.
Like this whole thing, it doesn't exist
Right.
to me anymore. It's just, I don't say that there aren't any nice energies around Christmas and Christic energies. I can feel them, but this whole human construct, for me, it's gone. And that's what I feel is going down. It's nearly like the frequencies of things are changing so much And I think that's why the words are getting weird to our ears. And even the other day, I lacked words because what's going on? I have no words for it.
Right.
It's as if we should invent a new language or something.
Yeah.
It's
I think
And
we
then
are.
at the same time, on my human level, I try to get out of my apartment, and I don't know why I don't get out. And I don't have like my higher self talking to me, and I often have a lot of voices, but I don't necessarily listen anymore because I can't connect to where they come from.
Right.
And this week I have also been wondering about what is it that we create? What do we tune into? And how do we create reality? Is it because we are capturing something and we are letting it in, and then we own it, and then we take action and it becomes a reality? Or what is reality? Is it because I I am here in this place and these things are around me, but if I move to another place, it would be another reality? Or does it go far beyond that? And it depends on what frequency you are in. It was like what you were saying before, like, is it our consciousness or is it, I don't know how you put it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think about that. Same kind of thing. Like this, like the whole thing with China. The whole thing with China, like, is that even real? Like, I look at it and go, is that even real? Like, remember when COVID started and they had all the men in the hazmat uniforms chasing people through the park? You know, like that just looks so goofy. And then some of the
Oh, that
stuff,
was,
but you know what I'm talking about. But like, is it just like a big movie projector? What is it like in China? I know there's a China, and I know there's people that come from China and live in China. But is it a whole different situation and circumstance? So if I don't know. So to me, like whether it's that, whether it's the Federal Reserve, whether it's taxes, whether it's you got to have a passport to go somewhere, whatever it is. If these things, these constructs, these human constructs, are falling away in our daily life, like you're talking about, like having these thoughts of why is that word say that, or why is it that these people don't even look at me like they know me, or whatever the case is. If those things are happening, then again, it would only make sense that the collective constructs, which are a hologram, would fall away too. But then again, there's always, the paradox or the polarity part of it. Are you there? Oh, yeah.
yeah, and then sometimes I wonder if it's only me because my daughter, she's very awake, but she doesn't necessarily experience the same thing as I do. So are they already built in for that new grid? Do we older ones have to deconstruct everything and the younger ones just don't? I don't know.
How old is she?
That's also a question. She will 17.
Well, God, I was talking to someone about this yesterday, and they had what was it? They had a 17-year-old, 16 or 17-year-old. It was the lady from Irina Iata. Irina,
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember how to say her last name. Iata, I think. But she was talking about it. 'Cause that was an incredible story she was telling about her stroke and everything. But basically, like we were
Oh.
talking about our kids, and I was talking about my younger two. She was talking about hers. Like hers has already decided she's not going to go to organized educational path. At 15, 16 years old, she said, I know what they're doing. I'm not interested. And what we were talking about is how these young people, let's not call them kids because they're not kids, but how they won't do anything that doesn't feel right. They won't.
No.
They won't do it, and that's a really big thing because you already have the shift. Like if we just take education, you already have the shift in the educational um, institutions where we had COVID and there was all this homeschooling and remote attendance. So there's already this movement out of what was the normal, the box. And so, like in her case, her daughter made the decision, I'm not going to go to public education anymore. And so
No.
how
My
many,
daughter, she was.
huh?
Sorry.
Now I was going to say how many, and it doesn't have to be that topic, but how many of these young people are making decisions, like my youngest, she went to a great school, and she had the choice to go to college, and certainly would have easily qualified. And she said, "No, I'm not going to do that. I want to be an
Yeah.
art curator, and I want to make movies." And she's on her way. But so, how many of these kids are acting in a non-conventional way based on our previous linear programming? That's an energetic force that has a physical impact to it. So that's got to we're going to have to be experiencing the results of more and more young people. Um,
Yeah, my daughter, she doesn't want to go to university or whatever. Now she's homeschooled
mhm.
in the Danish system because the French system is just nuts, if you ask me. So she's homeschooling at distance, but she can't see the purpose of it. She does it because it's not that bad, but she wants to, I don't know what she wants, like there's so many things that she wants to do for the planet. It's all about the planet. It's even not about her.
We
And
should
I have always felt what?
go ahead.
And I have always felt like she knew who she was. During her life, she had made me so many times like, okay, like things she would say to me, like at 5 years old. I remembered I was never good at playing like these games you do with kids. And she looked at me, she said, if you don't play with me, you know what will happen if you don't learn it? Then I will transfer that to my own kids. Is that what you want? I said, oh no.
5 years
She was,
old. 5 years old told you that? That's crazy.
yeah. And
We sh-
once I wanted to move back to Denmark, and I said to her, she was on, it was on the bed, and I said, "Do you mind? Would you think that it would be good for us to live in Denmark?" And then all of a sudden, she was no longer the 3-year-old. She looked at me. She said, "No, my soul doesn't agree with that at the moment." I was like, "Okay." And she has been like that all along. So yeah,
What's her name?
Elena.
Elena.
And the other day, she was looking at me straight in the eyes. She said, "Mom, you know what you're doing right now? You don't deal with what's on inside you, and you're projecting out on me. So please stop it."
Jesus.
Okay.
My youngest middle name, her middle name is Elena.
Oh.
The one I was telling you about. Yeah, we should get Elena. See if Elena wants to come on the show sometime and have a
Yeah,
conversation.
she does want to, but she's so shy. But perhaps you could come on now, 10 minutes.
Or we could do it with the animation, like we did
Yeah,
with
you can be a
a
character
cartoon.
from the
Yeah. It,
comics. Then there would
or
be,
she could just not have her face on if she didn't want to.
yeah,
But I think it'd be awesome to have her on.
yeah, me too. She's my greatest teacher.
Well, that's what I think we're going to find out, that these young people are not like they know more than us. It's not like that. It's just that they're not having to unravel everything. They're not even seeing the world like we've had to see it. We're trying to figure out
But
what. Go ahead.
I find it so hard that we put them through the school system. How how they just sit passively on a chair
Mm-hmm.
I even see it when I teach French. I would rather sit with them
Mm-hmm.
and just be with them. I had one child coming on, I was blown away by her heart energy. I needed to get back to myself. It took about 20 minutes. She had all these aspects of a lot of things in her. And I have never met anybody like that. It was just like, whoa. I won't go into details because that's her privacy, but I'm blown away by these kids, how embracing they are with others, how gentle they are, how fragile some of them are, and I can feel some of their sadness because they don't get why they are here. I can really see some of them, like, we discussed social media in an English lesson because I also teach English, and they told me, no, I don't want to be on Facebook. It's not interesting and it's not real life. I don't want to be on Instagram. They got it, and then still they have to be dragged through the system.
Well,
It's
well, not like they were, and not as many, less every day.
yeah.
Because
Well,
that's, yeah, it's like there's a part of me that knows, and I've been told this in downloads going back 10 years. The young people are going to take it, basically take it away. They're gonna grab it, and and they won't be stopped. Well, I know
no.
that's an energetic type of description, but the way I see it is, we will start listening to them because they do have a better idea of what the reality is, or at a minimum could be, because they're not looking at the world the way we do. They're just not. Especially as the ones coming into the world now. Think about the impact of the COVID babies that were conceived in 2020 and 2021, when the earth was shifting and people were becoming more introspective and they were more expansive, and relationships or connections were maybe even more in alignment. But nevertheless, you've got these new souls coming in. They can't even verbalize yet. I mean, we've had people on here where, obviously communication is happening telepathically with the child, even in the womb and when they come out. But what's going to happen in another 2 or 3 years when they start talking? Or you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I just look at the energetics rather than the changes that would come through, our normal practices from our old paradigm. Like just the energy, like tuning forks. Certainly, I think sometimes we think or we feel in these circles that they call star seeds and light workers, that we're the ones doing all the work. But we're not. We're not the only ones doing the work. We're doing part of the work. We're doing a very special part of the work. But what about these new souls, like, say, the kids from 0 to 15 years old? Their
Yeah.
their frequencies are going to be felt one way or the other, and there's nothing stopping it. I just feel like, how long will it be before we feel that impact? Before we feel that in our experience? I don't think it'll be very long.
I feel when you talk about this, I can nearly feel they have a different blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a very strong connection with Inner Earth, and I feel like they are waiting, as if they are waiting for the blueprint to match each other,
Mm.
so that Inner Earth can really come to the surface. But it's also as if it can't just happen. It's like there is a mathematical equation to it all.
Yeah.
It can't just be done like that.
Mm-mm.
It's
You can't
it's
wish it.
all mathematic. It feels like a big math equation.
Yeah, you can't wish it. You can't just
No.
wish it and it happens. Like The Secret. I shouldn't make fun of The Secret. I always thought they should have called The Secret The Wish instead of The Secret.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so yeah, talk to Elena and see if she would like to come on, and we can schedule a show. You can come on with her too if you want to, but or if she wants to come by herself, or we can make her a cartoon.
I
Or
think she can come on by herself.
she could be anonymous, whatever you think,
Yeah.
whatever she feels.
I know she would love to because she told me,
Really?
but she's so shy.
Well, just have her watch a couple of shows. She, I mean, I'm easy to talk to, so it'll
Yeah,
be.
she has watched many because right now she's just sitting over there.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, it'll be a relaxing conversation, but it would be an
Yeah.
honor. It'd be an honor. Yeah, just tell her well, she can hear me, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
she can.
Elena, if you want to come on at any time, just let me know. You don't even have to give me any notice. Just a few hours. I'm about 7 hours behind you, so that's the only thing. We just have to consider that.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this was cool. I'm glad we got this worked out, and I look forward to sharing space with Elena at some point.
Yeah, I
And,
think that would be great. Perhaps also to have more young people show up because I feel they don't really have a platform to be heard.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, just like with the women that have stepped up, like yourself, the more that do it, the more that will do it. So if we can get, well, let's just put the call out now. Not just Elena, but anyone out there that knows young adults, that young people, teenagers, even children that would be interested in coming on, and let's see what they have to say.
I can feel this is so important.
Yeah.
It's as if we did the connection all over the world, like the weirdo ones that we thought we were weirdo like 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago we were the weirdos, but now the children, I can feel like they also need to connect on this deep level.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yes. Let's do it. And we have some that we've had on before. We could probably coordinate, once if Atlanta comes on or a couple others come on, we could get back with Juliet Jones and that young lady in England that was 17.
Yeah, the one that
Yeah.
one that is mom already. Was that the one?
That was what?
She's already a mom.
I don't
Is that the
remember.
one?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I met a couple of the daughters, a 14 and an 18-year-old of Elsa Dillon, after we did our last show. Oh my God. Like, we just talked for like 3 minutes, but oh my God. Like, the energy of those two young ladies. And see, I think that's a big part of it too, because they don't have a platform and they may not want to talk about the things we talk about. They may want to talk about something else. And I think this is so
Yeah.
important. So
Exactly.
just so everyone knows, I'll put up some posts too on YouTube and Facebook. We'd like to get some young people on here, ages 3 to whatever, 20, whatever. Certainly and specifically the children and the teenagers. I
Yeah.
really feel like, and to me, teenagers right up to 19, 20. So, yeah, we'll do that. Thanks, Anne, for helping us create this idea in Elena, too. So, and
And
hopefully,
thanks for having me on.
yeah, of
It
course,
was a great pleasure.
of course. It's good seeing you again. I'll see you again soon. Take care.